What's up, guys? We're here with Kroll from Titanium Training. His YouTube and Instagram will be down in the description box, so please check him out and show him some support. But we're going to go over a little bit of questions because we just got done competing in the NANBF National Badger. So he's competed a total of 8 times. So how would you compare your first experience, your first ever show, compared to this show? Like, how would different stepping on stage? And
that's a good question, and you know, it's a mind blower because, you know, I think anybody that doesn't utilize some sort of coaching service or somebody to help them or guide them along and goes into a show blind ultimately is setting themselves up for competitive failure. And the reason I say that is because the first show I did, it was more of a competition between a friend. You guys may have remembered Zach from when we used to do the Team M Shot videos a lot. You know, we're on different teams now with work. I don't see him as much, so obviously I took the channel, my channel that I started, and just kind of focused it more on the titanium training competition aspect. But me and him decided to do a show, and in doing that, we didn't really utilize coaching. He did have somebody kind of help him along with posing, and then a little bit with the dialing in towards the end. He got his first show, which was awesome. In the short class, I got like 4th place. The reason for it, guys, I didn't take my diet seriously, and I didn't take cardio seriously to be a threat. You have to be willing to, you know, go that extra mile, do what it takes, and get down and dirty and feel uncomfortable. And cardio, I'd maybe do 10 to 20 minutes every few days. You know, my diet, I did flexible dieting, but I didn't do it properly. And I see a lot of guys, unfortunately, falling down this road where they incorporate way too much shit in their diet versus keeping it at maybe 10 to 20% total macros. And so I was eating a lot of processed food, you know, higher glycemic carbs, and under the presumption that I'm eating good. You know, it's whole grain pasta, I'll eat a ton of that, and my carbs were way up there, maybe 45 to 50%, you know, during my cut. I mean, the carb ratio wasn't low, so I wasn't utilizing as much of my fat stores. I had a lot of insulin spikes, you know, so in learning and getting a coach, I think is the best thing, and that's something I changed this last show I just did. I just got runner-up to the overall. I went against one of the best amateur natural competitors in the northern states here. The guy was insane, but you know, in my opinion, I went toe-to-toe with him on certain aspects, and it was a good show. You know, we were down and dirty at the posing. We did the crab against the head. You know, it was fun. Yeah. But I used a coach this time, and you know, I invested in investing. I took it a lot more seriously. I haven't cheated on the diet up until today, with the exception of the cheat meal. You know, I didn't cheat on the diet. I stuck to the plan as, you know, he laid out. I carved up a little more than he recommended, prejudging, and I kind of wish I wouldn't have done that, just because, you know, everything has a plan that's going to keep going. So listen to your coach, stick to what he says. You know, don't try to bypass, you know, their plan laid out to you. So from show 1 to show 2, or show 8, sorry, from point 1 to point 2, or point A to point B, coaching and taking things seriously and having a goal and saying, I'm gonna hit that goal and get in my best shape. So that pretty much answers that long question.
So obviously, like you say, you started off with physique, and it was a competition between you and your friend. What made you transition from physique to bodybuilding?
Physique to bodybuilding was the result of me wanting to say that I competed as a bodybuilder. I just feel like it's more prestigious, and I liked the physique, but I'm like, I just want to step on stage one time as a bodybuilder. So I signed up for an NPC novice bodybuilding class because I'm like, it's novice, it'll be easier. And I utilized my posing coach for that. I said, can you teach me bodybuilding? He said, yes. So I met with him. He saw my legs, and he said, hey, your legs, they're not massive, but they're not small. You should do bodybuilding. You got the legs for it. You got the, you know, the symmetry. You should do bodybuilding. The size. So I decided to do it in the natural and make that switch over. And I placed 4th in my first bodybuilding contest ever. It was an NPC show, so non-tested, and I was a natural. So I got 4th in the novice, which was not bad. But then I made my natural bodybuilding debut at the Northern States. I wound up placing 1st in the novice class, which felt really good. You know, it's felt good to win my first natural debut as a bodybuilder. Bodybuilding, in my opinion, it's more fun. It takes a little bit more conditioning, but the level of competition, level of fun is just, in my opinion, superior.
Where'd you find motivation during this prep? Because if you look on your channel and stuff, you had some like bumps along the road, and it was a long prep, and just even like sticking to, you know, diet for, you know, 8 to 10 weeks out, cheat meals, you know, it's gonna be hard. So like, where did motivation come from and like spark it?
You know, sometimes in life, motivation you have to find by closing certain doors. And the reason I say this is there's gonna be times in life where like family or friends may not have your best interests in mind, or may not even have your back. Let's say hypothetically they don't agree with your fitness lifestyle. They think it's, you know, arrogant, pompous, or they just think it's, you know, going overboard with things, whatever. Then you're gonna have those people that are like, hey Tyler, eat these cookies you brought into work, just have one, man, you know, let's go to Burger King, let's go to McDonald's. And you have to like be like, blinders on, right?
Yeah.
And you know, you're gonna have friends that are gonna call you and say, hey, let's go downtown, let's drink, let's party. And you have to be a hermit. If you want to be successful at this, you have to be willing to take time to be isolated and abide by what you're doing and your restrictions, and do whatever it takes to get there.
What are some like most important tip you would say for someone who's thinking about stepping on stage for the first time?
The most important tip I can give anybody is make sure this is something that you actually want to do. Too many times I see people that are like, hey, I want to compete, or they just maybe want to cut, right? And they don't actually want to do it. They don't want to diet. They complain every day. They're constantly binging out, or they're prepping and they just hate life. And it's like, why am I doing this? Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
If you're not enjoying the journey, if you're not enjoying that mountain climb to get there, what the hell's the point? Just throw in the frickin' towel and find a different hobby. You know, go power lift if you want to eat like shit, you know. You know, powerlifting's still admirable. I'm just saying, like, you're not gonna have to dial down to like sub 5% body fat to get shredded and win shows. So it's how bad do you really want to do this? It takes discipline, takes sacrifice. So know in your mind that it's something that you really want, and drive towards it. Because I tell you what, this may be a second place trophy, but it still feels hell of a good, or hella good, or however the hell you say that hipster shit these days. Still feels hella good to have this, because I know I worked my ass off to get it. And it feels good to look up at that when I'm bulking and say, hey, I can do it, I can get there.
And to wrap it up, obviously you said that you competed against one of the best in amateur in the state. And what was it like walking in today? I know you said you were kind of nervous, but like...
I'll be honest, yeah. I lost sleep last night thinking about it. I looked up my competitor because I saw a comment on Facebook, something where he was saying he's competing in it, maybe on the Badger page or something, and I'm like, oh, this guy's competing. So I commented, friended him, said, hey, it looks like we're competing tomorrow. But the guy looked like he was out of his mind. I mean, he was shredded beyond belief, and I mean that in a good way. He just looked insane, big, shredded, and sometimes, guys, you got to put those blinders on too when you're going to compete. You got to focus on you, not them, you. And understand that sometimes people are just going to be more dialed in, and they're going to be better that day. And, you know, be happy that you still, you know, there's a lot of guys that didn't get second place. There's a lot of guys that got third, fourth, fifth, didn't make top 5. So for me to be able to be in the top 2, to be the runner-up to the overall, to be that guy that would have been that, had, you know, he not been there, or had maybe I've been a little bigger, put more time in that, whatever. There's variables. You can't ask what ifs. Yeah. But just to know that you got to that point, it's a goal in itself. And, you know, congratulations to him. It was a tough battle, and it was fun, so.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, it is, at the end, you know, it's you versus you. And like you said,
absolutely,
you've gotten better after each and every show. So that's like a victory in itself too. So
yep, keep getting better, keep grinding it out, guys.
Yeah, so I'll wrap up the video. Like I said, check them out, and thank you guys for watching.